You're listening to The Extraction, conversations on the systems and strategies behind dental practice growth with Colin Ambler and Kyle Bergman. Welcome back to The Extraction Podcast. Your co-host Kyle here, along with my co-host, co-founder, and CEO of Team Care, Colin Ambler, who is in Paris right now. And we are joined today by Paul Lowry, co-founder of Dental Menu. Paul has spent years helping practices rethink how they serve uninsured patients, build recurring revenue, and create more control over the economics of the business. In this episode, we discuss why membership plans can make practices more valuable in an acquisition, Dental Menu's cheat code around PMS data reconciliation, what a 250,000 patient study done by Dental Menu reveals about patient behavior and retention, and a proven referral program hack that practices can use to drive growth. Paul, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me, Kyle.
Of course. Thanks for joining us. First question that I love to ask, because I always feel like everyone's wondering this about anyone when they hear on a podcast. Who are you? Where'd you come from? But for you specifically, Paul, how did you find yourself in the business of dentistry?
So like most people in dentistry, just kind of sucks you in, right? You have an opportunity and it's like, oh, wow. And all of a sudden there you are, you're stuck for better or for worse. No, I was working for a printing company actually, and did a lot of direct mail for a lot of different companies. It was 2008 to about 2017. And we started doing direct mail for dental practices, and it was working really well. And we did more and more and more, a ton of direct mail for these dental practices. And so that's how I got into dental. And it was interesting because I was new. So I'd go to a dentist and he'd say, hey, I want more cash pay patients. I hate insurance patients. And I got all kinds of complaining about insurance. And so, I was new and didn't know, but quickly found out that the insurance patients, they didn't get paid as much. They were writing off a bunch of their treatment. And so they wanted more cash pay patients. The challenge is when you're doing marketing, you have a couple of offers to try to get cash pay patients in. And so you're doing these offers on the direct mail, or you're doing, content marketing. When you get those, a lot of the cash pay patients are reactive. So they are in pain, they have a problem. So they come into the practice, and then looking at the offer or the conversion in the practice with cash pay looks very different from those that have dental insurance.
Interesting. Interesting. I noticed in doing some research that you have a ton of educational content, specifically contrasting discount plans and membership plans. What, in your experience, do most practices still get wrong about the difference between the two?
Yeah, so if you look at membership plans, they can help you attract new patients, but they're really conversion and retention tools. So new patient comes in. If they have insurance, it's like, hey, here's what your insurance will cover, and you go through that. And then when it comes time to pre-appoint, it's like, Kyle, do you want to come back? And you're like, for your exam cleaning x-rays, your insurance covers it at 100%. You're like, yes. So the pre-appointment rate on the insurance patients when we were doing all this new patient marketing was in the mid 80% range. It was really good. The
Hmm.
problem is this: if you don't have dental insurance, you come in, it's like, hey, Kyle, sorry you're in pain. You need this treatment plan. And it's like $4,000. You're like, wow, that's a lot of money. And so most offices have their own in-house plan, but most of the time they're structured as a discount plan, almost like a Groupon or a coupon. So you've got like, hey, Kyle, buy our plan. It's $500, gives you 2 cleanings, 2 exams a year, a set of x-rays, 20% off your treatment. So you're already in the place of business. So you buy that, you get the 20% off your treatment discount, and then you leave. You may come back for that second cleaning, but what we see is people don't buy that plan right at 365 days because nothing hurts. Like
Hmm.
you're going to buy, if you and I, Kyle, were like, hey, you know what? Why don't you come out to Utah and we're going to go skydiving? We're going to look for a good deal, basically, right? A coupon or a Groupon. And so we'll look for something to get a better deal on it, but it doesn't mean that we're going to always go there. We do a lot of skiing in Utah. So you want to buy a season pass and commit to a resort, or do you want to buy a 2-for-1 and we're going to bounce around at different resorts, getting the deals and go to a bunch of places. So if you want the one and done patient, you want to market, they're going to come in there in pain, and you want to convert that treatment, you're going to do discounts, right? You're going to sell these one-off plans. But if you really want to convert them long term, you've got to get them onto your season pass, so to speak, onto your membership plan, so that they're always coming to your place of business. if you look outside of dentistry, dentists, we get really weird in dentistry. We think in some regards that we're different than a lot of small businesses. You're running a small business or a medium sized business. You have a business, you own it. You have customers, you got pricing, you got conversion, you got the same stuff as every other business. So if you can look outside of dentistry and not try to get sucked into what everybody else is doing in dentistry, look outside of that and see what's successful. Netflix is a good example. Do you have Netflix, Kyle?
Of course.
Okay. So to me, Netflix is a lot worse, a lot crappier product than dentistry. You should be getting in to get your teeth cleaned a whole lot more than having Netflix. If you think of Netflix, I don't know, how long have you had it? Do you even know?
No,
I mean,
no.
years probably, right?
Or what about maybe, like Amazon Prime membership or
Amazon
subscription
Prime's
might be. Yeah.
Amazon Prime's a good one, a gym membership's a good one, car washes are another good one.
Mm,
Well, there's a reason one car wash is 25 bucks, but a pass is 30 or whatever.
mhm,
So, like
mhm.
Netflix, if you think about Netflix, how many times has Netflix called you and said, "Kyle, do you wanna renew our subscription for a year?" They don't ask you that, they just charge you and you have access to the content.
Right.
Amazon Prime is a good example because if you're a Prime member, I don't know if you've seen this, Kyle, it seems like the last few years when I've actually researched products, Amazon Prime is more expensive a lot of times than buying on Walmart or buying direct because 'cause they're building in the shipping and everything, but it's so convenient. You go to Amazon and buy your stuff because it's so convenient.
It's crazy.
And
It's
so you're
crazy.
buying everything on Amazon because you have this Amazon Prime with the free shipping and you get the content, and you get some of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
access to care at intervals rather than a bundle of services. What happens, and if you want to build subscription revenue in your practice, if you go, Kyle, and you buy 2 exams, 2 cleanings, a set of x-rays, if you're due for your second quote unquote free cleaning today, it's June 1st. If you call and you say, hey, you know what? I can't make it to my cleaning today. My son's got a soccer game and I'm not going to make it. You're like, okay, when do you want to come in, Paul? Well, I really need a Tuesday morning at 8. You're like, well, we're pretty busy in hygiene. I can't see you. You missed that. I can't see you till August, but I can see you at 4 o'clock. No, no, no. I got to have a Tuesday morning at 8, they say, right? So you're like, okay, fine. So if they come in at Tuesday at 8 o'clock for that second free cleaning, you've delayed that cleaning. They're not going to renew your quote unquote membership plan in 3 months because they just got a cleaning. And so now they're off the plan for 3, 6, 12 months and they buy it again when they decide to come back in. So you're not really selling subscription revenue that way. You're selling a bundle of services, a Groupon at intervals, and then when they use it up, they have to buy another Groupon. And then when they use it up, they have to buy another Groupon. So you don't ever make any extra money if they delay their cleanings. You actually delay your revenue. If you sell access to care at intervals, they get access to a cleaning every 6 months. If they come in at month 7 or 8 or 9, you see them, you just pre-appoint them out 6 more months. The program just keeps running, and so you get that extra subscription revenue. People are going to stay on it a lot longer, and you're going to get the consistency instead of the one and done.
So as it's a great explainer, Paul, and it sounds like a membership plan can increase retention and treatment acceptance over a small discount because it's acting in a way that is very similar to the business economics that a lot of dentist owners and team members at dentists and even patients are experiencing in other businesses that they're interacting with on a daily basis. I have two questions, kind of bifurcating the way the conversation could go. And for everyone, so more of a dental practice and dental menu question. What should practices watch for on a weekly and monthly cadence to know that dental menu is working, that the membership plan is working? The other question that I have, my background is in e-commerce and actually have had a lot of experience with subscriptions, specifically with beauty subscriptions. I used to work at Birchbox, the men's grooming and cosmetic business, and we had a huge gift with subscription program
Um,
where you sign up and you get this free thing. And I'm wondering how many of your clients are utilizing that tactic in getting people to sign up.
yeah, free gift.
Free gift. Get a pair of AirPods when you join Noble Dentistry and stay as a member for 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So we haven't done that. We've done, especially when we were doing some of the more on the marketing side, we were doing a gift card, like a $50 gift card when they join. Most of the time with cash pay, Kyle, it's so you're coming in, you need the exam cleaning x-rays. So most of the time, like the UCR, the MSRP, basically the amount that a patient has to pay for those, let's call it $350. So you come in, it's like, hey, Kyle, you got a couple options. You can either pay $350 today for your exam cleaning x-rays, and then your treatment's also going to be at full rate, or you can sign up for our membership plan. We usually recommend doing an enrollment fee somewhere in the $49 to $99. So it's like, Kyle, you can pay $99 today, get your exam, get your cleaning, get your x-rays, plus get 20% off.
Mm.
Then we do a rewards program where you get 25 or $50 of rewards, almost like Starbucks rewards or Chick-fil-A rewards, frequent diner rewards. So when you come get your cleaning, every time you come in, you're earning rewards towards treatment. And as long as your subscription stays active, you have those reward points basically.
I
So
love
it's
that.
so it's a little different than, hey, free gift for sign up for the subscription. It's more like you can pay $350 today, or you can pay $150 today, plus get the rewards, plus get the discounts on the treatment you need. And then we're going to pre-appoint you in 6 months. When you come back in, your exam cleaning x-ray is going to be free for you. Plus you're going to earn more rewards. Plus you're taking care of your oral health, man. You're going to
Yeah.
keep your teeth healthy. And so that's what we found that works pretty well on that conversion side of things. And then bringing it back to team care, which is why I'm so excited to be doing stuff with Colin, is you ought to have an incentive for your team when they get that patient to sign up for the membership plan. So if your front office manager, if she gets $25 when she signs up a membership patient, she's going to sign up a whole lot more. I
Yep.
promise you. And so that's something that we found on the team side, obviously. Incentives for hygienists, incentives for your front office team, they ought to be tied into this whole membership side, because if you get 300 people on a subscription at $30 a month, you got 9 grand a month rolling in. That changes your practice big time.
It's a beautiful thing. I wasn't going to go down this. I mean, how many of the practices that you work with on this podcast, we've spoken to a lot of operators in the acquisition plays, private equity firms, CFOs, people, every business, it seems like almost every other dental owner is building to get acquired or to sell. And how much of an easier conversation is it when 50% or more of your annual or monthly revenue is actually recurring because of memberships? Are you seeing any clients that have gotten acquired because of having such a strong and robust membership plan?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get a higher valuation because if you've got a bunch of Delta Dental patients, they're connected to Delta Dental. They're not connected to your practice. When you are running these subscriptions and they have the rewards and they have access to care intervals and it's all kind of tied up like that, you're going to get a lot more blue sky. You're going to get a lot more patients that are connected to the practice, not to the dentist with Delta Dental. Because when you decide, hey, I don't want to practice anymore, you want patients connected to your practice, not to you as a provider, so that you're selling this group of business. And so if your average Delta patient spends $700 a year in the practice and you have to build Delta and go through all that garbage and you're getting 60% of your UCR, if your average membership patient spends $1,800 a year in the practice and you're billing them direct and you're getting 85% of your UCR, obviously that customer's worth more.
Yeah, yeah.
The
That's a beautiful.
challenge with it, Kyle, and we don't have to get into the weeds on the podcast, but one of the things that we do is we integrate with the practice management software and we keep your back end, your collection production in your practice management software accurate so that you don't get killed. So if you're running analytics, if you're using Team Care and you're using their analytics product and you don't get accurate values for those services in the practice management software, it can actually hurt your sell and hurt your valuation because of how you're doing your accounting basically on the back end. So a lot of people trying to do their own plans, they have really poor accounting on the back end. And so that hurts the valuation. If you try to sell any business, first thing they're going to want to do is look at your books. And if your books are screwed up and there's skeletons that looks like they're in the closet, you're going to get a lower valuation when you sell because it looks like fraud's going on. It looks like you got AR problems. It looks like there's just weird stuff going on. And that's what everybody on that's doing the DIY side of things, or even that you're using competitors, they don't do the accounting correct on the back end. Because what they do, Kyle, patient comes in for the exam cleaning x-rays. What they're doing is adjusting all those services off to zero as free services. And so they're actually showing zero collections to offset the production. They're showing it as an adjustment or a write off. So it looks like bad debt is basically what it looks like. So that's where you can hurt yourself if you don't do it right on the back end.
Fascinating. And this might be a little bit of a redundant question, but coming from Colin, who is doing his best Parisian Paris, there, I'm
Bergman.
curious. Can you talk a little bit about how offices do not typically do their renewals? They post it onto the ledger and it never renews.
Yeah. So basically, what they do is you buy the bundle of services. You come in and get your first cleaning. They mark it off as complete. You buy your second cleaning. They mark it off as complete. And then it's like, well, hey, Kyle's no longer eligible for the membership plan. And then when Kyle comes back in, it's in the office. It's like, hey, Kyle, you're due for your renewal on your membership plan again. And you're like, okay, I'll buy it again. So you go talk to your team members and you're like, hey, how's it going on renewals with our office plan? Guess what they say? It's going great. Like everybody's signing up. Everybody signs up that we tell about it. And it's like, no, like if you and I decide to go to a restaurant, I come out and visit you in Maryland, we're looking online and we're like, hey, Paul, this place looks pretty good. Let's do this place. So we pick the place, we go into the restaurant, we're sitting there, and the matron comes and says, hey, Kyle, just so you guys know, if you want to sign up for a year of our frequent diner program, scan this QR code. It costs you $20. And then you get 20% off everything and you get free dessert for that year you're on. You're like, okay, why wouldn't I do that? I'm not an idiot. Like, I can do the math and buy that, but it doesn't mean we're going back to that restaurant. So then when we come back in a year, we decide, do we want to go to that restaurant or not? And if we decide, yes, we want to, we're going to try to get the best deal possible when we're in the place of business. That's what they're doing. And so the renewal is very reactive and the patient's not stupid. Do you want to pay this much or do you want to pay this much? And if it's a better deal, they'll re-up.
Yep.
But they're not, renewing them. They're not automatically renewing them. They're just selling them when they come back in, trying to convert them. When we were doing the marketing on the postcards, we did a study, Kyle, on 250,000 new patients. This was like a 10-year portion. This was our own study. We had access to the data ourselves. Most of these offices were running their own in-house membership plans. And when we looked at the data after 5 years, only 12% of cash pay patients were still active in the practice out of all these new patients. It's crazy. Insurance patients, 64% of those were still active. So clearly the insurance product, which if you look at the insurance product, it's a prepaid benefit, access to care at intervals. That's what it is. Like, look at what it is, and it gives you a little bit better deal on restorative. So the in-house membership plans within a 5-year period only retain 12%. The Delta Dental membership plan, and the Aetna and the Cigna, it was retaining at 64%. Why was dental insurance retaining at 64%? And the in-house membership plan that was supposed to compete with that only retaining at 12%. That's how Dental Menu was born. It was like, wait a second. If anything, the membership plan should retain at least as good, if not better, than the insurance membership plans. Because insurance plans, man, they're not insurance. They're just another membership plan. So why are we not copying what they're doing and doing it better?
I love that. I love that. That's a good hot take. Insurance companies are just membership companies.
I mean, dental menu ship, dental insurance, because health insurance, you got a heart attack or something, you go in, you use that insurance, it might pay $1 million for that, right? Car insurance, you're driving a car, you may never need it. Why do you buy it? Well, state mandates it. That's another political conversation. But if you wreck your $20,000 car into a $100,000 car, insurance pays both parties for the losses. If you have dental insurance and you don't use it for 5 years and you go in and you need a full mouth restoration of $20,000, it's going to pay what? $1,500 or $1,000 and that's it. It's used up. It's not insurance. If your teeth get bashed in playing lacrosse, it's not paying for that accident. It's not. It's paying 50% of each crown you need, up to $1,500 if you got a good plan, or up to 1,000. Or if you just bought it, there's a waiting period. Like, it's not insurance, really. And so once you've used up the benefit, you need 3 crowns. Well, now you're out. And then if your teeth get bashed in, you have 0. It's not really insurance because something might go wrong. It's paying for your exam, cleaning, x-rays, and then 50% of some treatment until you max that benefit out. It's not great.
Man, you're really First off, I love that you're using the lacrosse metaphor because it really resonates with, two washed up lax bros that are on this podcast. But also, you're shooting some hard truths today. So, Paul, if for our listeners who are hearing everything you're saying, and there's an owner out there who has thought about a membership plan but hasn't launched one, what is the first move that they could make this week to get started?
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to go to our website, like Kyle was saying, you've seen it, Kyle. We're really open. Like, go educate yourselves. You can watch our modules. You don't even have to put your email address in. Watch the modules, get yourself educated, and then decide, like, hey, you want to do it yourself? Here's a bunch of information. Go for it. We're pretty confident that our tools. One of the examples I like to use, Kyle. I talk to doctors. Doc, are you using paper charts to run your practice, or are you using a practice management software? Open Dental, EagleSoft, Dentrix. Why are you using Open Dental, Dentrix, EagleSoft, any of these tools to run your practice instead of doing paper charts? Well, it's more efficient. You're making more money. It's setting your practice up to scale, right? You can run your own membership plan and I'll show you how to do it and I'll teach you. I promise you, our software is going to help you make more money, convert more patients, keep your books clean. And so, yeah, it costs some money, but you're going to make a lot more than running on quote unquote paper charts and doing it yourself. But we'll give you all the tools you need. So, the first thing I do is go to our website, watch those tools. And then, second thing, if you want to check out our software, you can set up a demo with us there. Sometimes we run some different workshops where we help people price their plans and things like that. So we're real open with our information. We're kind of abundance mindset type of guys. You just schedule a call with us. We'll walk you through it. And if you want to do it yourself and that's a better option for you, like, we're happy to share things we've learned. Because again, if that's a good option for you, great. But we're pretty confident that our software is going to help you be more efficient, make more money than doing it, on the paper chart side of things.
I love that. I love that, Paul. And actually, some things I want to share with you. Jumping over to the e-commerce. It's been so fun working with Colin on Team Care because I come from such a different background, and some things that we do over there, I think, can be applied here. So, some other. I'm kind of curious to get your thought on some things that are done on the e-commerce side. So, refer a friend. I work with some brands where if a friend, you can give someone a $20 store credit to go purchase a thing. And if they use it with your unique code, then you also get a $20 store credit. When it's your birthday, you can get a store credit. If you follow them on TikTok or on Instagram, you get a store credit. And actually, there's a lot of I think words are really important. A lot of brands will use points, and it's really hard, I think, for customers to contextualize what a point means. And so for some brands that I work with, we now talk about cash back in the form of store credit, which is the same thing as a point, but a dollar is the same as a dollar out. And so it could be, are you working with any dental practices that are like, hey, for the month of July, if you get a crown, it could be 20% cash back in the form of store credit on a future work that you might need? Or, hey, it's your birthday, you got a $50 store credit that can be redeemed. Like, are you doing any sorts of gamification this way with your brands?
Yeah, we are in dental, which is kind of stupid, but because you're in healthcare, you got to be careful with cash back and
Ah,
as you get into fee splitting. So if
ah,
anybody's listening here, you want to do those ideas, but you want to be a little careful how you do them because you'll get in trouble. You can't take money and fee split it back to like somebody that referred. You just got to be a little careful. That's why we do the rewards. So I would stay away from credits. I'd stay away from cash back, and I would move to rewards. The couple reasons why is you don't want to, if they have a credit on the account, a lot of the practice management softwares also, when there's credit sitting there after a certain amount of time, it actually triggers a check to go back to the patient as well with
oh,
the credits and stuff like that. So you want to do rewards. We do 1 point equals $1 so that it's real easy on the conversion. And we do
yep,
that from the regulatory standpoint, just so we're walking the right side of the line instead of like doing that fee splitting. But like here's something that works real good, Kyle. You launch a membership plan and you go to your hygienist and you go to your team members and you say, hey, look, for every person that signs up, you'll get $25. And then your referral, they're going to get 25 in rewards, or they'll get 25 off on that enrollment fee or something like that. And you get your hygienist and you get your assistants, your front desk, everybody to put on their personal Facebook pages about the membership plan. And now you've got some easy, low hanging fruit. We have run some referral programs, same kind of thing. Hey, you'll get rewards for everybody you refer that come in, things like that. And so And then we do double rewards. So instead of discounting, like you come in for treatment, it's a $6,000 treatment case, you have $200 rewards. To close same day treatment, instead of saying, Kyle, I'll give you an extra 5% off, which that now devalues your work. And it also preconditions the patient every time they come in, like, well, they gave me 5% off last time. Like you've been in e-commerce and retail. If you pay retail at Kohl's, you're an idiot, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Think of the retail places where you're like, you never would pay retail for clothes, right? Don't ever pay retail for clothes. Like you're trying to train my teenage kids. You paid how much for a shirt? Like you guys don't understand. So you don't want to commoditize your dentistry. And so if you do things like, hey, Kyle, if you want to take time to schedule today, you've been a great long-term member, we're going to double your rewards towards that treatment if you want to make time to get it done today. Well, then when he comes back in the next week and he has 0 rewards, 0 times double or triple is 0. You know, he's got to be a long-term patient to earn those rewards. You definitely want to gamify it, especially with your team. That's why I like team care. We do goals all the time. Like we've done some where, hey, once we get 500 members, we're going on a cruise with a significant other. If you generate 15 or 18 or 20,000 in subscription revenue every month, take your team on a cruise. You just increase the value of your practice $1 million. You can afford to do that. So definitely want to gamify it. Just make sure you're not getting yourself in trouble with any of the regulatory with the fee splitting.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad I brought that up because the apparel e-commerce world is kind of like the Wild West, and I know you guys have to march a little bit of a straighter line. Paul, this has been
But I love it,
amazing.
Kyle, because that's what you need to do. Anyone that's listening, stop looking and seeing what's working in dentistry. We're like, dentists are weird. Like, you guys are amazing. If anyone's listening, I could not sit there, Kyle, and do like what they do.
Yeah,
Most, marketing people, salespeople, they could never be a dentist because you guys have a different mindset and it's amazing. Dentists usually, for the most part, you guys don't want to sell and market. That's not what you're good at. Most like good e-commerce people, they could never be a dentist. So what you want to do is copy genius. You've heard like the greatest compliment you can ever get is when you get copied. Look outside of dentistry. That's what we did with Dental Menu. What's working in subscriptions outside of dentistry? Let's not copy dentistry. Let's not copy another dentist. It's funny when a lot of times dentists are like, oh, hey, this is what we're doing and stuff. And that's great. But man, you get outside of dentistry in the e-commerce world and stuff, they know how to sell products to consumers. And that's what you're doing. You've got a business. And here's one more example, not to be too long winded. The reason dental insurance companies are so successful is because dentists aren't great at sales and marketing. So what do? And you guys are pissed. Everybody's listening. Dental insurance, you are really irritated with them, but look at what they're doing. They're going to all these dentists and they're saying, hey, will you accept these lower fees, 40% off your fees? And what we're going to do is we're going to package all these dentist product together. We're going to do a big conglomerate of a bunch of dentists. We're going to package your product up. We're going to push the price way down. And then we're going to go sell your product to businesses and we're going to be a middleman. That's what they're doing. Why are so many of you guys in network with insurances? Because you haven't figured out how to package your products and sell them to patients. That's really at the core. That's the problem. So you go in network with insurance companies because you need the patient flow, and they're going to all of these businesses and they're selling the product at a really, really low rate. So then what do? You complain and you bitch and moan that you want the insurance company to pay you more. And you spend all of your emotional energy and all of your time trying to increase your insurance reimbursements. If you had patients that came in and every one of your patients beat you up on price and said, lower your price, you're not going to like those patients. You're going to be like, stop. Like, why do you keep doing that? Why would I decrease my margin to give you, Kyle, a better deal? You're telling me as a dentist, you're telling me to decrease my margin to give you a better deal. You're going to insurance companies and what you're saying is, hey, Delta, decrease your margin so I can make more money. That's your pitch to Delta. That's a terrible pitch.
Yeah.
So they're going to go to their customers who are the businesses and the consumers, and they're going to say, hey, Kyle, you know what? I'm Delta Dental, but your premium's going up because we want to pay XYZ dentist more because he does such a good job. What like, how does that help them? That doesn't help them. And so stop complaining and create a better product that you can compete so you can start dropping those insurances so you can go direct. And you guys, like Kyle in e-commerce, you were at was it Birch, you said?
Yeah, Birchbox.
Birchbox. Why do companies go direct to consumers with subscriptions instead of going through wholesalers or resellers?
Oh, there's not enough money, it's margin, really.
Margin. So
Yeah.
what's your margin if you go direct to consumer on those boxes versus if you go to Costco or Walmart or something like that?
I mean, I know the question is somewhat rhetorical, and what's interesting and it kind of validates your point is that the what a brand might say is, oh well, Costco or Target or Walmart, they're also going to be helping with marketing because they reach millions of people every month. And it's like, well, the trade off is you're not getting access to that customer necessarily. They might be diluting your brand. And so it all goes back to look, it might be a little bit harder to launch our own subscription program or direct to consumer brand, but it's worth it from a margin standpoint and from controlling your own destiny.
Yeah. And I'm not an anti-insurance guy. I'm just a pro making money guy. So, most of the time you're going to need a mix of both, right? The
Yeah.
difference with insurance that's crazy is when insurance companies sell a large group based employer that has 1,000 employees, they're able to push their premium down to like 10, $12 a head. And the reason it's so cheap is that exact same insurance. If you go buy it direct from Delta or from Aetna or whoever, it's going to be 40, $50 a month. So why, if I go buy the same insurance direct from the insurance company, why is it 4 to 5 times more than if I'm an employee at some big company that has 1,000 employees? The answer is usage rates and breakage. If I pay for my insurance direct, I'm going to use it because I'm paying for it. If I go work for a company and I'm a 20-year-old kid and I go work for some big company and I'm there for 6, 8, 12 months and I get dental or I'm there for 1 or 2 years, I may never use that dental quote unquote insurance. And so the insurance company is getting all that breakage. Their usage rates on preventative are 80, 85%. The usage rates of people that max out that $1,500, they're single digits on large group based employers. So they're able to charge a lot less. So all I'm saying is if a cash pay patient comes in and they don't have dental insurance, why would you want them to go pay an insurance company to get a fair shake and a fair deal when they could pay you directly and your margin is going to be exponentially better? Your insurance companies that you're in network with are wholesalers, and there is a place for them. Again, I'm not anti-insurance. There is absolutely a place for the Costcos and the Walmarts and the Amazons. You're going to move product, right? So I'm not saying just drop all your insurances tomorrow, but I'm saying as part of your business mix, as part of it, you don't have a direct to consumer model. You're missing out on margin and you're stuck only going through wholesalers and they may push your product, they may not, but you're totally stuck. So part of your mix as a small business owner, it doesn't have to be all of your mix, but part of your mix should be direct to consumer subscriptions. That's, we're talking like just business, right? So part of your mix. Now some places 100% of their model is direct to consumer. Some places 10 or 20% of their model is direct to consumer. So I'm just advocating that whatever percentage that is, depending on your model, should be direct to consumer, and you're going to increase the margin on that direct to consumer portion.
Amen. Amen. And if you're picking up what Paul's putting down, you're getting fired up like we are about this, then please go to dentalmenu.com and check it out. Also, if you are a team care client, you will have preferred access to dentalmenu.com through a really exciting integration that we'll be coming out with soon. Paul, thank you so much for joining us today. I one last question and I want to keep it short and sweet, but I am
Yeah.
kind of curious. In one sentence or less, what is the biggest myth dentists believe about in-office membership plans versus insurance?
I'd say one sentence or less that it is not going to compete with insurance if it's an employer sponsored plan. That's a big myth. Don't go drop every single one of your insurances and think your membership plan is going to solve every problem.
Hmm,
And a lot of my competitors, that's what they try to get the dentist real emotional, but I'd say that's one big myth. It will help you when it's patients paying directly for their insurance and they're paying for it themselves. We can convert those patients, but don't think your employer sponsored plans, you're not going to convert all those people over.
got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, thank you so much for joining us on. It was great having you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kyle. It was fun.
Thank you for listening to The Extraction with Colin Ambler and Kyle Bergman. Read episode notes and transcripts at teamcaredental.com.